Imagine that you are opening a video that immediately makes your heart beat from the first second because you know that in it there is something not to be missed. This is the moment where BTS's Jungkook appeared and took the world by storm with his surprise debut on the Fashion Week stage with Calvin Klein. From the beginning of the video, you will feel a thrill of tension that makes you want to keep going, as if there is a big secret that will soon be revealed. Don't move, because here every second counts, every detail can become the talk of the world, and you who watch first will become part of a global conversation that will not stop overnight. Click now, watch until the end, because the longer you survive, the deeper you will be carried away in a narrative full of surprises. When Jungkook stepped in with his debut outfit, it wasn't just a piece of cloth attached to his body, but a symbol of new strength. How can a K-pop idol who is known for his charm on the music stage now steal the attention of the international fashion world with a truly stunning appearance? Cameras panned it, flashes of camera lights crowded in, cheers and whispers of the international media mixed into one. All eyes were on her, all curiosity hung. What was the hidden message behind the choice of clothes she wore that night? Don't rush to skip, because in the middle of the story there will be a shocking reveal of how Calvin Klein and Jungkook planned this historic moment. The narrative is not just about clothes, but rather about career transitions, the courage to take big steps, and how the world accepted Jungkook as not just a singer but a true global icon. Is this just the beginning of his new journey? Or a sign that he is ready to leave a wider footprint than just a concert stage? Question after question arises, and your curiosity will be awakened throughout this video, because every detail of the explanation will lead you to one conclusion. This is a moment that will be remembered for a long time. In the middle of the video, you will be taken to a flashback of how Calvin Klein previously always chose influential figures of the world for his big campaigns, then why this time they placed great hopes on Jungkook. The answer is not simple. There is a suspenseful story about strategy, about how the fashion world can no longer be separated from the influence of K-pop, and about how Jungkook's name became the key that opened the doors of the global market. As you listen to this narrative, imagine yourself as the first person to know this secret, and also imagine what it would be like to be able to retell to others that you were there from the beginning. The further the story goes, the more it feels that this is not just an ordinary event. From his facial expressions, his hand gestures, the way he steps, to the small details of the clothes he wears, everything has meaning. It was as if Jungkook was sending a message to the world, that he is ready to conquer any stage, not only music but also fashion, culture, even the lifestyle of the younger generation. And this is where you'll find it increasingly difficult to stop watching, as each scene takes us deeper into a behind-the-scenes world that rarely unfolds. Don't forget, in the middle of this narrative there is a special teaser that will surprise you, something that makes you rethink who Jungkook really is behind the camera. Is this the face of Calvin Klein? Or a symbol of the changing global entertainment industry? This question will remain hanging, and only by watching until the end can you get a piece of the full story. Towards the end of the video, you will be greeted with an invitation to continue supporting, not only by watching but also being part of a global community that continues to talk about this moment. Click, share, leave comments, because every little interaction of yours makes this story even bigger. Imagine if you didn't watch it to the end, you would have missed the final surprise that could be the subject of everyone's chat the next day. And finally, when the screen starts to dim, there will be a profound message left behind. Jungkook is no longer just a K-pop idol. It is a cultural icon that transcends national, industrial, and generational boundaries. You who watched this video from the beginning, survived until the end, are now witnesses of a history. So don't stop here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for every next story. Because if her debut at Fashion Week alone was this big, imagine what would happen next. It's a story you can't stop watching, suspenseful, enigmatic, and rich in detail that satisfies your curiosity. And that's why this video is worth watching to the end. 'Cause every second is not just a spectacle but a memorable experience. Imagine once again the camera's spotlight on a Fashion Week stage that is usually filled with world-class models, this time suddenly changing focus when Jungkook's figure stepped in. The roar of the audience, cheers mixed with admiring whispers, even sighs of disbelief, seemed to indicate that this was not just an ordinary performance. Many did not expect, even the international fashion media, who are used to surprises, this time were made silent. Why? 'Cause Jungkook's presence is not just as a guest, but as the center of attention, a new symbol that is shaking up the fashion world. Every move is calculated. Steady footsteps, sharp eyes, confident facial expressions convey the message that he is not just a K-pop idol who simply lends his name to attract attention. No. He appears as a representation of a new era where music, culture, and fashion meet on the same stage. Behind the black fabric, a simple but elegant cut of clothing, lies an incredible energy that makes millions of people around the world talk about it. As you continue to watch, you will increasingly feel that this is no coincidence. Calvin Klein is not a brand that chooses ambassadors. They always strictly select, presenting only those faces that are able to create a story. Then why Jungkook? 'Cause he's not just a singer. It is a symbol of the globalization of Korean pop culture. He is the voice of a younger generation that dares to challenge norms, and at the same time a mirror of a modern world that is no longer limited by geography. In the central part of the narrative, we will find interesting details. How was the long process of negotiations between the Calvin Klein team and Jungkook's agency? How the planning of this campaign was carried out in secret, until it was finally launched with a big surprise on the stage of Fashion Week. Imagine, hundreds of media were not given a leak. The photographers did not even suspect who would come out on the runway. And when the figure of Jungkook really appeared, all the cameras suddenly turned away. Flashes of flash simultaneously lit up the room, making the atmosphere as if in a historic moment. Here, as a viewer, you feel like you are watching a thriller. There's an element of suspense, surprise, and even a bit of mystery. Every second feels important, every sentence explained brings us closer to the big secret behind this debut. And the most stressful thing, there are small symbols that can only be understood if you watch to the end. From the details of his clothes, the small accessories he wore, to the way Jungkook bowed his head when he reached the end of the runway, everything had a hidden meaning. The longer you hold out, the more you realize that this video is not just a who's wearing what story, but a drama-filled story about an artist's transformation. We are brought to understand how a young man from Busan, once known only for his golden voice on the music scene, is now breaking through the walls of global fashion with courage. Think about this. If Jungkook could surprise the world with his first appearance alone, what would he do next? Will he design a major collaboration with Calvin Klein? Will he launch his personal fashion line? Or even become the main face of a modern lifestyle revolution that will change the world's fashion standards? These questions will continue to intrigue you, keeping your attention from moving until the video is completely finished. And when your curiosity reaches its peak, there comes a teaser in this narrative. Something that makes your heart beat faster. Imagine if behind that appearance there was actually a personal story of Jungkook that he had never shared with the public. A personal motivation, a deep reason why he chose Calvin Klein, and how the dress he wore that night was not just a design but a symbol of his life's journey. When this narrative gets to that part, you won't be able to stop watching. The end of the video is no less dramatic. A personal invitation was conveyed to the audience. Do not just be a passive witness, but be a part of history. Click like, share this story, and leave a comment about what Jungkook's appearance means to you. 'Cause every interaction from viewers like you will strengthen Jungkook's position as a global icon. And don't forget, by pressing the subscribe button, you not only get the latest updates but also become part of a community that grows together. This long narrative maintains a suspenseful rhythm from beginning to end. In the beginning you are curious, in the middle you are given a surprise, and at the end you get satisfaction as well as encouragement to stay connected. This is the key to high audience retention because it is not only the story that is interesting but also the emotions that touch the heart. And when the screen goes completely off, there's only one thing you can feel, a curiosity that hasn't been fully answered. You will be looking forward to the next video. You will come back to find out what else Jungkook will do after this. That's the power of narrative that keeps audiences lingering, constantly connected, and part of a bigger journey.